There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Roger, was it all just a dream?
Oh, after a month away from the studio, I am back home. Great Convos, where we always say whether you agree or disagree, you can always find great convos. It feels good to be back. Woohoo! I'm Roger Caesar, and that gentleman over there.
I'm Alexandre Matt. Hello, Roger. Good to see you again. Now, today might feel a little different for anybody listening to us. Usually Roger and I just speak, in our normal conversation. Sometimes we have a guest, and that guest is on the hot seat. But today, Roger might be on the hot seat because Roger has just spent. What did you say? During a month, you were in 6 different time zones. You went in I don't know how many cities. You've spoken to at different conferences around the world. You met hundreds of people. Started building relationships that might last for years. And with all that, when looking at the comments that are on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I'll get to those in a moment, but it's incredible the impact that you seem to have and the footsteps that stay behind as you go through every city. So I got to thinking, what is it that makes some people be memorable long after they're gone, while other people might be forgotten before they even get home?
Because Alex, honestly, and I want to just quickly shout out to all the different places that I went to, from China to Ireland, and then Jamaica, and of course, just recently, literally got back on the weekend from India. It has been tremendous all around, and I've had so much fun. To all of the districts, to all of the people, the organizations, thank you so much for allowing me to be there and be a part of such a wonderful, wonderful set of members as well. To answer your question, Alex, honestly, it's taking away the fact that it's the profession. It's that we're there to do a keynote. And I remove that part because that's already given. I'm there for that. I already know that. It's going to these places and being authentic, and also understanding that what I really want is to get to know the people there, the culture, get to know the history, especially when I've never been to these places. Having that as at the forefront of my mind, to me, is what connected me to, in fact, everyone. And there are so many people that would say that to you if you were to ask them on a personal level, what is it that Roger did differently than, say, another speaker? And that's the one thing that I did. I wanted to immerse myself right into the whole culture and everything.
When you say culture, it sounds like there's 2 different things. Literally the culture of the place or the country or the city where you're going, but also the culture of the organization.
Yep. Both of them. You're right. Like, that was what I wanted to do. It had nothing to do with just the speaking portion of it. It was getting to know them, who they are, if it was an organization I was there at, what was the organization all about? What was the people there all about? And then it was, again, going to a different country. What's the country about? What's the culture? What is the history? All those pieces, what sometimes a lot of speakers don't do is gather all of that information to use it when they are speaking on stages.
Right. So you get ready before. Yeah, because when we're getting ready to present, and by the way, is it tomorrow? In 2 days, I'm going to be offering a master class, and then a couple of days after that, a short story on stage. So I'm getting ready for that presentation. But you're reminding me it starts before. So I'm going to send an email today to all the attendees of my master class and ask them to get ready, but also probably ask them a few questions so that I get to know them better. Thanks for that reminder. Because is that like a big misconception that many speakers make as they're getting ready? They don't think of everything that happens before and after the time on stage.
Yeah, I think so, Alex. And I'm not going to blanket every speaker, because I know a lot of them that actually do it. And I want to give a shout out to Furzy, our good friend Furzy. He was there last year, and they were talking about him as well. And then they said, oh my God, the two of you, the way you are, it was so refreshing. So I want to give a shout out to Furzy as well for that, because this is what it's about. It's immersing yourself. I'm repeating myself, I know, but it's immersing yourself deep within not just the speech portion of it, but to also understand who the people are. I had one guy where I was walking in and we're on the elevator, and he asked me, he goes, oh, you're the keynote speaker. And I laughed at him. I looked around and said, no, not me. It's him. And I pointed to one of the gentlemen that was with me. And immediately we all started laughing like crazy. Do you know that was a moment that he actually wrote down and put in a post that said that's how I got to meet Roger Caesar, and that alone made me realize he was completely different from other people.
Right. And that's part of also making a great first impression. How about we take a couple of minutes just on that? Because when I've seen you in action at conferences, and I'm impressed. Even when you don't know if that person is there for that conference, you still, you look at them and you have an interaction with them, because they, well, I don't know if it's because they might be part of the audience, or if it's just how you are. You want to have that great first impression with everyone around you. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, it's who I am. And it's funny, I'm just looking at one of the comments right here from our good friend Anthony Garvey. There's a pint waiting for you of Guinness, because that's a part of being in Ireland. And I knew that. And even though it wasn't something I do on a regular basis, I wanted to enjoy those moments. And so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Shout out to you, Anthony.
A quick note on that, Roger. By the way, Anthony, Guinness is one of my favorite beers as well. I just had one, was it yesterday? Yeah, as I was barbecuing, that was my beer of choice. And I have come to be pretty good at pouring it just right. Go ahead, Roger.
Right?
Yes.
And then you have to wait a while so that it all settles.
Yes,
right? So you can't drink it right away.
While it's settling, you look at it and it's beautiful. It goes down and goes up at the same time. Oof,
yes,
nice.
yes. But yeah, that's, I think, is one of the things that often speakers don't do, is take the moment to get away from, hey, I gotta do the perfect speech. I gotta go up there and I gotta make sure that everything works out according to plan. Get away from that. Like, live in the moment. This is what I do. From the minute I come off the plane and I see the district trio there at 3:30 in the morning waiting for me, like, that alone was just like, oh. And to have that moment with them, shout out to the district trio in India, having them right there and seeing them, this is what we talk about as speakers. Don't get so caught up in the content that you have to deliver, because it's the people that are there that are really wanting you to feel connected to them.
Hopefully, if your presentation is well done, when prepared, you don't need to still be looking at your notes on the day before and even the day of. You prepare weeks in advance. You know it really well, so you don't need to overanalyze what you're going to present on the day of.
Yeah.
Karen on YouTube says, done is better than perfect.
I like that.
I guess at some point you say, okay, I'm done trying to perfect my speech and my slides. Thanks, Karen. That's another reminder I needed, because I'm currently working on the images for my slide and for the handout that I'm going to give. And I'm thinking, maybe Karen's right. I'm just going to stop working on that. I've got imperfect.
Well, shout out to Karen, because Karen is out of Ireland, so she was there at District 71 conference, and I had her spontaneously come on stage and deliver a speech too, and everything in my master class. So she had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun out there. So shout out to Karen for that too.
Thanks, Karen. I'm going to stop working on my images. They're done. They're not perfect. They do the job.
Yeah, it was great.
So, Roger, I know you very well. I know how you make great first impressions, but also lasting impressions after you're gone. I'm going to now go into a little search I did I think these are especially posts on LinkedIn. And
Oh.
hold on, let's see how big your head can go when I say these things here. We look at a few notes on LinkedIn about Roger. Here's one from Lakshman. It was a delight having you in our district conference, and thank you so much for making it a star event. From Vinod Kumar, thank you, Roger, for your time. Wonderful session with our members. From Kavita, watching you light up the stage with so much energy, enthusiasm, and presence made it even more special. And your stories are the gateway to your soul and the pathway to an audience. I could go on, but I think that's enough for now. You are memorable on stage. I know you get there early, you stay late as well, so that helps also. But how is it that people okay, let me throw you a curveball here.
Okay.
These are notes that are sent to you on the days, maybe 1 week following the event. But how do you know you have a lasting impression beyond those first few days?
Beyond those first few days?
Yeah, we want to make a lasting impression.
Well, you know what? It's funny that Maya Angelou has famously said, people don't remember what you said or what you did, but they remember how you make them feel. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, for me, it's the little interactions that I have with people that have nothing to do with me being on the stage, that they remember afterwards, right? It's how I made them feel in the moment. I remember distinctly, there was one of the contestants. He's legally blind, and I don't remember his name. Forgive me if anybody's listening from India, and if they are, put it in the chat, please. But he's legally blind, and he did an amazing speech. I believe he got third in the competition at the end of it all. But I was so moved by his speech, Alex. I took the time to, and it wasn't that I planned it. I just saw him. I went up to him and I pulled him aside, and we had a nice conversation. And he even afterwards was on the phone. This was way after the conference was over. He got on the phone with one of his friends, and he says, if he's still around when the conference is over and we were walking around, if he's there, can he get him to call me? And he found me. I called him, and then we talked again on the phone. Little things like that, and I don't do it strategically. There's nothing like that. It's just who I am, and you've seen it. You know me. But little things like that mean the world to people, right? When you point out someone's dress or how they look, when you have a little fun with and you banter with one of the members that are there. Like there was a guy who had his tie on, it was a little off. I said, come here. And I'm fixing his tie, and he's laughing while I'm doing this. That has zero to do with what's on stage.
Yeah.
It's what makes them feel good afterwards.
I once did that with someone whose tie was a little untied. Come here. And turns out that was his look. So he untied it. So maybe get the permission.
Luck. You have no luck.
Maybe get the permission before you start changing the wardrobe with someone.
You're funny, man. You just have no luck with that.
Hey, maybe you can give us a few tips on how to have that, how to get to that natural charismatic way, because it doesn't come easy to anyone. Certainly not to me.
It doesn't.
Of just being there and saying something to someone spontaneously. It's like, what can I say?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I'm gonna just use the acronym. I usually use a lot of these every once in a while, but MTM, make them matter. Right? From the minute I leave, whether I'm at the hotel or wherever I am, or I'm in my car, you've heard me say this before. I am already thinking, whoever I meet, I want them to matter. I want them to feel good. I want them to know that I see them, even if it's for a few minutes, a few seconds. I'm going to make them matter, so that what that does, number one, it warms up the audience. There was I think 450 to 500 people at this conference. And I may not have reached to everybody, but I tried my hardest to at least say hello. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? How are you? And then if there's more of an interaction that I had with them, that warms them up, so that by the time I got on stage, I got a rousing ovation, and I didn't even say anything yet when I got on, right? So little things like that, to any speaker who's out there who's going to be speaking, do not worry about your script. Do not worry about all of those things. Worry about making the audience matter. Make sure that they feel good, that they want to hear you when you go on that stage. And the impression will last longer if they felt like they mattered to you.
When we had our episode with Prasian Vatsilev, 2013 world champion of public speaking, we spoke about the importance of focusing on the audience rather than on yourself and your speech. This is what you're saying here, but it's not only, it goes beyond the speech. Perhaps, so the tip that I'm taking here is, instead of thinking of what can I say to make a good impression so that people notice me and how smart I am and how charismatic I am, it's more of what can I do so that the other person feels that way. So instead of trying to make yourself shine, make others shine.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
It removes the stress, I think.
Yeah, and I talk about this even when I'm teaching at the University of Toronto, and we're talking about networking and stuff. When you go to network, it's not about you. It's about making that person who you want to talk to feel like they're the most important person in the room. So let them do all the talking, so to speak, right? You'll obviously interact with them, but you let them start the conversation. What do you do? How are you? Like anything that makes them feel like, oh, okay, he wants to know or she wants to know about me, right? They're more susceptible to connect with you afterwards. And even when I was there in my first keynote of 2 that I did in India, I talked about BFF, and not the BFF that everybody knows, best friend forever. No, what I talked about and what you would see in a lot of those messages that were on LinkedIn is BFF, meaning building foundational friendships. That's what you want to do. Whether it's in Toastmasters, whether it's wherever you are in a networking event, you're building that foundational friendship. You're trying to start something, almost like, when we're outside in the woods and we got the wood and we're trying to start a fire. You just start slowly, you get a little smoke. But the whole idea is that eventually that turns into a nice fire, and it builds something that could be, gives you an opportunity somewhere else. You have chances to speak. Lots of the things that I've been able to do, it's been built on those foundational friendships. It's the reason why when Craig Valentine, the 1999 world champion of public speaking, would say, speak to be rehired. I've been able to go to places now twice, even 3 times, because I built that foundational friendship with them.
And now we're speaking especially about speaking on stage, but your stage doesn't need to be not necessarily in front of a live audience. It can be a family gathering or a meeting at work, volunteer groups, community picnic, even just going to the grocery store. You can still, when you start a foundational friendship with someone at the grocery store, hey, why not?
Person behind you, right? Or in front of you. Why not? You never know.
You never know. So you might not, at least do something to make a first impression. Maybe have a small conversation to start, especially in small towns, I suppose. So if most of the people listening, or if a lot of people aren't speakers or not professional speakers, what does this look like in everyday life for all of our stages?
Perfect. Listen, Alex, how many times have you been in an elevator? Right, we talk about
many times.
Right? I've been in an elevator, and there's people in the elevator, and nobody says anything. They just sit quietly to the corner. Right? We're not asking you to pull out your phone and say, "Hey, connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever." Right there. But the idea is that, you know what? You never know where this person might meet you again if you had a conversation with them. You may be in an elevator in a business office, and all of a sudden you had a nice little conversation going up to the 21st floor. And you get off and you go your way, and then next you know, a few days later, you show up there again, or they see you somewhere. I remember you. right? You don't know. So why not take the time, instead of being in this fast-paced world where we just only think about what we have to do, a moment to just say, hey, how are you? Even if that doesn't go anywhere, at least in that few seconds, you made someone feel good.
Yeah. And it's more human to have these more connections. I remember, was it 2 or 3 years ago? I think I was at a at the car rental place, and I don't know why we were texting, you and I, and you said something like, "Oh, last time I was at a car rental place, I met someone fascinating." And I thought, what? Why? How did you meet? Oh, I just started talking with him. Like, what? You just do that? You can do that? Talk to strangers in the elevator and the grocery store at a car rental place? That's weird, but it started a relationship with someone.
I got an opportunity to speak from a little conversation that I had with somebody in a coffee shop. In a coffee shop, we're waiting for coffee. We started talking. He found out. I told him that I was just here getting ready because I have to speak at another event. Oh, you're a speaker? Yes, I am. And he goes, oh, that's nice. What do you speak on? And we started talking here and there. And then he got his coffee, said, listen, just write your name down for me. And I wrote my name down. A year later, he reached out to me.
Wow. I'm curious, were there any contacts?
No. It was just, he was on my LinkedIn and he just kept watching all the stuff that I was doing.
Right. So that helps, right?
Yeah.
Keeping top of mind.
Right.
So that
you
helps.
Never know. You never know where it'll go, right? You never know where it will go.
Yeah. Now whether it's a conversation that you have in one of these random places or at a conference or at an event, you can say that the conversation ends or the event ends, but the relationship doesn't. It's like the end of the event, but the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah. The possibility of opportunities.
Right. And could I say both ways, Roger?
Mm-hmm.
The opportunities can go both ways. I mean, you're keeping contact with people that might hire you, but it could go the other way.
And and me too. You're right, 100%. That I might know of an event or something that happens that they could be very useful at, right? You never know.
Mm-hmm. What was one relationship that started many years ago that maybe looked like it wasn't going anywhere until it finally paid off?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, I've had a lot of them though, Alex. I mean, to single out one in particular would be hard. I mean, I'm looking at, even with Trinidad or District 81, starting from there, Elka Price, during COVID, Elka Price was a member in Antigua, I believe it was, if anything. And I happened to visit the club. Jacqueline Payne, you know Jacqueline, she had invited me to go to the club, and I went there, and we started off me doing a table topics there. Then after that, they loved how I did my table topics. I then went back again and I spoke at the club and did a speech there. 2 years later, I'm asked to be their keynote speaker in Trinidad for their District 81 conference. Now, you saying, how do they remember long after I've left? Well, literally, when I did my speech there, I talked about who's in your pack, right? It was my acronym there for those who push you, accept you, comfort you, and keep you moving forward. To this day, they still remember it, right? They still remember it. They say, oh, I still got my pack, right? So it's how you put things together, how you engage with them. Elka Price was the start of that, way back when it was, I believe it was 2021, just after I'd won, and it stayed. And I've been there 3 times.
They've invited you in person 3 times. Yeah. That's impressive. Go back to an island. I guess you get invited to islands often, right?
Islands. Islands. It was Trinidad, then it was Barbados, and then to Jamaica. So.
And Ireland counts as well.
Yes, it does.
That's also an island.
Yes, of course. I've been there twice. Been there
where I'm
twice.
going with this.
Right? I got a long list of people. Anthony Garvey is another one right there who's on here. Built a foundational friendship with him. Peter from District 71, Danny, Elizabeth Jordan, Paul, Therese. There are so many people that I built the relationships with there that allowed me to be able to come back a second time. They remembered, and there's so many more. I'm not going to go through everybody, but there's so many people that I met that was instrumental in building those friendships and building that connection. Listen, we've got McKinley here as well, who I met and I spoke at their district, right? And look, he's still one of our biggest supporters here, right? This is it.
Is it quantity over quality?
Yeah.
Sorry, I said that.
Quality over quantity. Quality, yes, quality.
Quality
definitely
over quantity. Yeah. So,
yes.
Even if you've got an audience of thousands of people in front of you, if you're listened to millions of times, it might not matter if nobody remembers you. It will be better to be remembered by a handful of people than to be forgotten by millions.
Can I give you one last thing? I know we're up against the time, but Saturday night was a fun night in India. They don't do a gala. It's literally a huge party that happens on the night. So Sunday, I was doing my masterclass workshop, and the first thing I did when I went on stage was I said to them that I thought it was going to be a gala, but when I reached there, it was a huge party, and I did some Indian dances that I learned when I was there. And that alone had them go berserk in the room, but it connected with them.
Yes. You took the time and the effort to learn a dance from India. Are there recordings?
They probably have a lot of them somewhere.
All right, we'll have to put our hands on that. Roger, yeah. It's been great interviewing you today. This was fun. We rarely do this.
We gotta reverse it. I got to do the same to you now.
Well, let's do that next week, as I will be coming.
Why not?
Was it next week or the week after, when I will be coming back from? No, man, I'm so confused. I'm pre-jet lagged. I'm leaving today for Victoria for the Storytellers of Canada National Conference, and I'll be back next week this time, so that way you can interview me about the experience.
I will. And hey, listen, Alex, good luck. Have a lot of fun, and leave them with an impression that will last for a long time.
I will keep that in mind. I will keep in mind the people who are in front of me, and to make them matter rather than try to make myself matter. Right. Roger, maybe success is not measured by how many people hear us, but how many people remember us after they've heard us.
I agree 100%. 100%. Right? It's not about the whole masses loving you. It's about the people that come afterwards and say, you hit me here. I appreciate you.
Everybody, please keep the conversation going, and please remember, whether you agree or disagree, you can always find Great Convos.
Take care, everyone.